that I want to address. First things first, let's put ourselves in a hypothetical. Imagine that you take a group picture, and then you see the group picture. Who is the first person you're going to look for? You're going to look for yourself. You're going to try and find yourself, right? And if you're not there, whether someone has cropped you out or the camera wasn't wide enough, you lose interest in the entire moment. And that is linked to how our Black, brown, minority students feel in the everyday pre-K-12 curriculum system. And these are things that I've seen. So the question is, where am I? Go ahead, next slide. When we go to the next slide, you see that we are opening the question of the representation. It's one of the biggest things because when we look at this slide, well, the first thing that we see, right, is how do we start this thing off, right? Next slide. In our classrooms, the diverse faces of students are often met with a curriculum that does not reflect their identities. This disconnection raises a pressing question for pre-K-12 leaders. How are we working to improve representation for minoritized communities in education? The change we seek begins not with new materials, but with transforming adult learning experiences within our teachers. Teachers have to enable students to see themselves within the curriculum. We must first change the way educators engage with their own learning process. Next slide. So the first concept we're going to address, it may seem broad, but it's andragogy, okay? How we learn and treating teachers like adults. Adults learn differently as we go to the next slide. Now, adult learning theory, known as andragogy, showcases that adults possess unique learning preferences that differ significantly from those of children. This approach emphasizes the importance of understanding these differences to create effective learning environments for teachers. Next slide. And what we have to understand is that experience matters. Teachers bring in a wealth of experience. Imagine a teacher sitting in this professional development and all they have to do is click through 80 slides and then it's done. How about we say, hey, how do you feel about how curriculum is currently set up? How can we see the representation in your classroom? Because this is what starts to happen. When students don't see themselves in the curriculum, they start to distance themselves. As we know, right? We have heard about how school is nothing about white historians. And it completely eradicates Black contributionship. It eradicates brown contributionship. The first one fighting on those lines is the teacher. So it is important to bring their experience to it. Claire's recent work on andragogy shows that these principles still matter. Relevance, experience, and autonomy. And they're not optional add-ons. Let's go to the next slide. Now, once again, we make the idea. Move past traditional professional development, all right? Because just how students get disengaged, teachers get disengaged. Then we start with the reality. Let's move on to the next one. Let's talk to teachers about what they're going through, all right? Now, let's move to the next slide. Relevant experience and autonomy. You have to give teachers the ability to say, hey, this is incorrect. We do not have our representation currently here within the building. So what that brings me to is our next concept. Go ahead, next slide. This is called self-directed learning, all right? And it's from mandatory professional development to my responsibility. You want teachers to feel like they are a part of this. So you empower them, next slide. As we empower them for their learning experience, for thriving in the market, for their own educational journey, this autonomy fosters a sense of ownership. Let teachers take advantage of what I have going on. In order to address the issue, you have to stand firm and say, listen, I am a part of this. This is me. I am here. And because of this, I speak up. We cannot afford our young people to not be represented in the curriculum, all right? And while we do have limitations of traditional models, next slide, all right? We treat professional development as if it's a one-size-fits-all. And that just alienates teachers, right? It eliminates voices. It doesn't work in life. There isn't a one-size-fits-all for anything, unless you're making gingerbread men, right? There's no one cure for all. So, next slide. As you do your personalized inquiries, right? How are we teaching our self-directing learning model to teachers? Make sure they're encouraged to formulate their own inquiries. This approach not only aligns with their interests, but also allows for more personalized and meaningful professional growth. All right? So, when we go to the next slide, we see that we got to choose our focus areas. Allow teachers to pick what they feel passionate about, what they see and what they do. All right? And this autonomy leads to a deeper exploration of their chosen subjects. This allows someone to go in and say, hey, I chose this, so I'm going to do this study. And since I did this study, I feel motivated to keep on going. And that's how we get self-directed learning. And the impact is autonomy, next slide, is that the research consistently shows that when adults are given the freedom to make choices in their learning, it significantly enhances their engagement and persistence. All right? If someone's engaged and persistent, then success is inevitable. All right? So let's move on to the next concept for our prior knowledge and elaboration, starting where they believe. All right? Basically, your prior knowledge impacts how you view the students. Okay? It impacts how you view the curriculum. You don't think about how we only have 5 repeated Black history figures until someone says, hey, can you name me someone other than Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Thurgood Marshall, Mr. Peanut Butter, George Washington Carver? Can you name me someone else? Or then it gets quiet. You don't even think about that until someone addresses it to you. So that's what we have to do. Our prior knowledge and our elaboration, right? Starting what you've seen before, all right? Now, media team, we're going to slide forward 4 clicks, okay? Slide forward 4 clicks, all right? So think about this. Your prior knowledge changes everything you do about yourself. It changes how you work, how you move, how you understand things, right? And then when someone shows to you, hey, this is missing. But here's the thing, you can't lead them to the water. You got to let them see for themselves, all right? And let's go to the next slide. Slide after that, my bad. All right. So we got transformative learning and that discomfort, right? This is what starts to happen. When you start to change how people think, things get uncomfortable, right? Because essentially you're challenging a system, a cog that you grew up on, right? We can name all the founding fathers, right? But we can't name all the education contributors for the antebellum South. What about the French education before the Louisiana Purchase? What about the Russian education before the Alaskan Purchase? What about Asian Pacific Islanders before Hawaii, right? How can we impact that today? Media team, we're going to click that right clicker 6 times ahead, right? So this is what I ask you today, right? In your personal life, how can you transform and get yourself uncomfortable with what you already know, right? How can you challenge the status quo? So in this next one, when we're talking about self-efficacy, right? Next slide. Self-efficacy is essential for people and teachers as it empowers them to believe that they can influence their students and those around them positively. And it gives you a feeling like you're capable of, all right? They are more likely to implement new strategies and persist through challenges when you feel you can do it. This is the idea that there's no way I can make a change. This is combating the idea that I am not good enough. What it is challenge you to step up and say, I am good enough. I don't care about what has been done before me, but I am here. Within my professional learning community, I make sure that I step forward. Let's go ahead and hit that forward button 4 times. So how do we balance this between efficacy, and professional learning communities? Well, one, we encourage others, starting with the representation in the curriculum. You change the representation in the pre-K-12 curriculum, you change how people see themselves. All of a sudden, you think what was once only for white people is for brothers and sisters that look like us. We think about how everything we have done to contribute to this country literally changes the way everyone thinks about us. No more is minoritized representation. By limiting that, making it minute, you make it think that the contribution of minorities is smaller. When in actuality, that's never been true and it's never have been true. So I can, I will, I have done it, my ancestors have done it, I have the facts. Let's go to the next one. So what's the big picture here? To truly impact representation in education, we must start by transforming how we approach adult learning. We need to change how we think. This involves recognizing teachers as adults who need agency, connecting with their existing knowledge, and creating a space for critical reflection. By fostering a supportive community and encouraging self-directed growth, we can ensure that curriculum reflects all students, allowing them to see themselves in the stories they encounter, hence changing the future outcome of America, the pre-K-12, and most importantly, our West Philadelphia community. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.